Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. And yes, I'm about to hop into a league draft. Now I know I talked earlier about having some issues with the league. I don't know what to tell you. Now that I've streamed it a few times, I gotta tell you, saving a bunch of time is pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible being able to basically just draft whenever you want and not have to wait, the 15 to 30 plus minute period between rounds. So the convenience alone has really made League pretty incredible. And if you'll notice, Marshall LR, yeah, there's definitely some pros that are in the league as well. So it's not like you're playing against easy people here or something. In fact, I think LSV is in it as well. We could probably find that out, right? Pretty sure he is. Maybe he's not right now. I mean, I guess he's not right now, but no, he is actually right now. So I'm telling you, the pros play it, so you're still gonna play against some really good competition. You don't have to wait between rounds. The prize payout is reasonable. I really think I put too much stock into drafting the pod. I think everyone kind of has if they weren't already on board with League. So I certainly recommend trying League out because I was extremely skeptical. And then I tried it and I'm like, wow, wait, I have an extra hour and a half of my life that I can do whatever I want. That's amazing. So I recommend it. All right, we're going to start in just a little bit here. All right, the league has fired and we are good to go. So let's figure out what we want. Right off the bat, I see Brutality, Blessed Alliance, and Brazen Wolves. These are the three picks I'm looking at. I give a lot of stock to Vilden Pack Outcast as well, but I'd still prefer the Brazen Wolves. Brutality. I like this card, and it's versatile. It's pretty good. I think I might like Brutality more than Alliance. I feel like the utility of this is a little bit better. Targeted removal. But I might just take Brazen Wolves. I mean, I really just love this card. So I think I'm just going to take a creature over a removal spell here. Even a versatile removal spell. Just because I really do think Brazen Wolves is one of those cards that just must be answered. And if it's not, it just beats down so effectively and such a good cost. So taking a creature over a removal spell, how insane, right? All right, probably follow up with a Captive. That puts me in a good archetype right away, right? The old wolf-werewolf archetype, which I like anyway. There's a Choking Restraints in here, which is good. But I mean, Captive's amazing. You're never going to play a green deck and not run Captive, so there is that. There's also Rootless Disposal, so a couple more good removal spells in here. And a Geistfield Scarecrow, which I like, but we're just going to take the Captive and be okay with that. There's actually not an insane red pick in here, although Blood Mist is probably at its strongest in red-green, but I'd still take a Captive over it. Okay, so now we can take Grapple with the Past, which I consider to be a pretty awesome utility green card. There's nothing insane in here. I like Grizzled Angler. I like Desperate Sentry. I like Dragoon. I like Foul Blood. But I'm fine taking Grapple here. Okay, Captive number 2 seems like it's going to be fine. No good red picks in here. That is immediately apparent. There's also a Courageous Outrider, which I like, but I'm still going to just stick with cutting green for now. I really like Liliana's Elite a lot, too. I underrated this card, and it's much better than I initially thought. Okay, so I like green-black a lot. Green-black can be Delirium. I like green-black more than I like green-white. Although I like Borrowed Grace probably the most in this pack. I can take the Graph Rats. What I don't like about taking the Graph Rats is if you don't end up with the Scavengers, the rats are I would say the rats are the side that you're going to cut from your 23 if you don't have Midnight Scavenger. So it's risking taking a dead card here. Whereas I can take the Thraben Foulbloods and work towards a little bit of a Delirium plan. Which isn't bad. Or I can just take the Wolfkin Bond and hope that red pans out in pack 2. I'm okay with that too. Like, I don't really care about Grav Rats or Thraben Foulbloods. We're going to take the Wolfkin Bond. I actually have come to kind of like this card. So we can take Terrarian. Some blue cards. Nothing really left in here that's insane. Primal Druid is fine. We don't have any Emerge going for us right now, though. We'll take the Terrarian. We might end up wanting to splash something, or basically wanting Delirium. Okay, that's a late Survivalist. That's a good sign. This card's really good. We'll take that and be happy with it. That's just a good card. So we see a late Ironclad Slayer. That can get us back our Wolfkin Bond. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I'd take the Styncia Innkeeper, which isn't very good. Been pretty unimpressed with it, but I want to play the Brazen Wolves. And red-green, like I said, I like more than green-white, definitely. And we're definitely green at this point. I guess I'll take an Innkeeper. I mean, I really do want to play the Wolves. All right, there's just a lot of white. I guess we got to take a white card. So I can take Dawngryff that flies. I can take Faithbearer Paladin that has lifelink. And there's a Cultist Staff. But I guess... I do... Yeah, I really don't like green-white all that much. I probably just have to make it work. Faithbearer Paladin's pretty good, especially with auras. But Dawngryff flies, which shouldn't be overlooked. I guess we'll take the cheaper thing. Okay, I guess we can take the Slayer now. Actually, maybe we just take the Woodland Patrol. I'm still holding out hope that Pack 2 rewards me with some red, but maybe I just have to let it go, I guess. All right. Slayer's definitely better than Patrol. All right, fine. Fine. Okay, we'll take the Mantle. Desperate Sentry. I guess we take it over a second Mantle. We already have a Mantle and a Wolfkin Bond, so that seems fine. All right, well, Reserves is good. All right, we begrudgingly got forced into white. So, okay, I've accepted it. All right, well, Lancers are pretty good. God, 2 bombardments. Of course we get all the red cards. There's also a Priest in here, but we'll take the Lancer. This is a good beat-down dude, and no, you don't have to have a legend to make it good. It also is nice to ramp into with these captives. So I guess I'm going to have to accept that. We have 0 removal spells, is that right? Okay. Sanctifier. Well, there's a good white spell. Okay. Cool with that. That gives you an army. So I did pass some early removal for, what, a captive and a Brazen Wolves that I didn't even get to play. Man, red got cut hard, huh? All right, let's take the Sanctifier. Ooh, 3rd captive? That's crazy. All right, I don't even know if I've had 3 captives before. It's pretty insane. I mean, I'll play them all. I'm pretty happy, actually, playing them all. Too bad Sanctifier's not a legend, huh? That'd be good with the Lancer. So we can take the Faithbearer Paladin, we can take the Fragment, we can take the Swift Spinner. I guess we'll take the Paladin. We have all this ramp now, so it seems like something we should be able to pretty easily do. I guess I could consider splashing the Abundant Maw. I don't really like it that much, though. Okay, so now we can take Extricator. How easily can this deck get Delirium? We have Instant that feeds, we have Artifact, we have Creatures, Enchantment. So, and we have Sorcery. So we have all the key components. I guess we can make Extricator work in here. I mean, there is Nothing else in here we're interested in, so okay. Works well with Desperate Sentry too. So we can take the Woodland Patrol now. It's certainly playable. We can take the Geist of the Lonely Vigil. Gives you a little bit of aerial protection, which is nice. If I thought we could get Delirium a little bit easier, I'd be more on board. Our late game plan is currently Captives, Sanctifier, Spectral Reserves. It's a little bit more exciting than a Woodland Patrol, I gotta say. All right, we'll take the Geist. Maybe we make Delirium work in here. Second Lunarch Mantle? No. Let's go for Delirium. Desperate Sentry's actually good if you can make Delirium work. Ooh, well, at least white's open, right? All right, we need a removal spell, so Blessed Alliance is going to do that for us just fine. All right, take all the Faithbearer Paladins. So, it is nice that we're getting fed all this white. Okay, I'll take the Shield Mate here. We're in the market for some combat tricks at the very least, since we don't have much in terms of removal. Just a Blessed Alliance, so at least Drogskull Shield Mate can be a combat trick. Fiendbinder would be fine too. Alright, well, immediately get it. We could take the Mockery of Nature. We don't have... Well, actually, we do have some decent fodder for it, don't we? The Desperate Sentries, those are good with Mockery. 6/5 is nothing to scoff at, and we can ramp into it. It's really not that bad. You know, I think I'm actually going to go for Mockery over Fiendbinder here. Cut the green card. Whatever. Alright. So, we're going to be able to make a deck. It definitely feels like we got cut green on pack 2 there. We made green come together really nicely in pack 1, so maybe we'll get rewarded with green again in pack 3. But we really didn't pick up we just picked up a ton of white, as expected. So here's Hope Against Hope. Here's Inspiring Captain. There's an Intrepid Provisioner. We do have a few humans, mostly at 3. I guess at 5 too. Hope Against Hope is actually pretty good. It can be big, and we have a lot of creatures. We have some tokens. We have some token producers. It's kind of an unexciting first pick. Could take the Fork in the Road. It does help with Delirium. It puts both sorcery and land in your graveyard. We actually have quite a bit of Delirium too. It's also an unexciting first pick, but I mean, we could take Shard of Broken Glass. This is a Delirium enabler, as well as a kind of lousy but playable equipment. I'd probably rather just play the Fork, I guess. But we're not playing a third color, which makes it less exciting. But how much Delirium do we have? We have Geist, Extricator, Desperate Sentries, Backwoods Survivalist. We actually have quite a bit. Alright, we'll take the Fork. Maybe we make it work. Ooh, well, we needed this Purge. Quilled Wolf, Paranoid Parish Blade would be fine too, but Purge is just exactly the primo removal our deck is looking for, so we'll take it. Very good with Delirium as well. Geralf's Masterpiece, jeez. So we can take Confront. We are definitely looking for some combat tricks, but Thraben Inspector is pretty much always good. Works well with Extricator too. And it works well with Auras. I think we're going to take the Inspector. What's our removal looking like right now? Can't be all that bad, right? What do we got? Purge, Blessed Alliance, is that it? Guess it is. Could use at least one more. That would be nice. So we can take Equestrian Skill. I mean, it's big. Put it on like a 6/7 trample lifelink is pretty insane. There's a Murderer's Axe. Kind of helps with Delirium, but it's okay. It's playable. I feel like we don't need the Thornhide Wolves, because we've got some good expensive stuff. Guess we can take Axe. It's not great, especially without Madness, but I mean, I could take the skill instead. I kind of like that you can move the axe around, but let's take the skill. I guess there's more upside. Okay, so we have Puncturing Light. I think we actually need Puncturing Light, just the complete and utter lack of removal our deck has. Like, I like Strength of Arms more. It might make more sense to take Strength of Arms just because I like the spell more. I'd rather have a combat trick, a 1-mana combat trick, than a 2-mana, you know, narrow piece of removal. All right, we'll take the Strength of Arms. Second Purge is a godsend. That is fantastic. Exactly what our deck needs to kill things. And another Strength of Arms too. Beautiful. So we're going to take that over the Loam Dryad. I think the triple Uvenwald Captive should do everything we need them to. This is good news though. Wow, I could get a third Strength of Arms, or I could take the Emissary. I mean, I wouldn't mind more flyers. I guess there's random synergy with like Extricator and Emissary. Costs 7 mana though. Or I could just take a third Strength of Arms. No one expects 3 of them, right? They are pretty awesome, even in a deck that has no equipment. Or we could take Survive the Night. I think Strength is just better. We're going to take Strength of Arms. I know we're playing a lot because we are. But I do think it's very good. All right, we can take Hope Against Hope here. So we're kind of just playing Aura Human beats, and if our humans die, it's not a big deal, like with Sentry or whatever. I'm okay with this. We could take Shard of Broken Glass, actually, now that we actually have an equipment card. Maybe that actually makes sense. It's worse than Hope Against Hope, but it kind of gives us something to do. Paranoid Perish Blade versus Scavenger. I think the Perish Blade makes more sense for us. It's probably just a better card. Groundskeeper. It kind of works well with Shard of Broken Glass. Kind of works with Fork in the Road, but I don't even know if Fork in the Road's going to happen now. I guess it probably should. Solely for... Maybe with a 16... We can play 16 lands and 3 captives and a Fork in the Road. Alright. Alright, got the Thorn-Eyed Wolves anyway. So, good news for us. We have, like, just a bajillion playables. Like, oddly, we ended up with the most amount of playables ever, considering it took me a while to finally, like, pull the trigger on this deck. But we can run 16 lands pretty easily with this deck, I think. Because I think we're going to... We'll play Fork in the Road like it's a land. Because we want to get Delirium pretty badly now. We have some good Delirium rewards. And we actually... The other good news is we ended up with enough removal. So this deck's going to work just fine. Which is fantastic. Alright, this is gone. Yeah, between Blessed Alliance, Double Purge, and these Strength of Arms combat tricks, I think we're actually just fine. So... do I like Equestrian Skill or Wolfkin Bond more? Wolfkin Bond's more expensive, but gives you a body. Equestrian Skill works better with humans, which I guess we have a few of. I probably like the Bond more, but we do have a lot of 5-drops already, too. Like, Equestrian Skill on a Faithbearer Paladin is beatdown fest. Plus, we can bring the skill back with our... We could have had a second Slayer, but I stubbornly took an Innkeeper. There's also a Lunarch Mantle, which is very good. We've got to cut some of these. We're definitely going to cut creatures too, though. Oh, and yeah, the nice thing about this league is just infinite time to make your deck. It really is just wonderful. So, let's cut the Thorn-Eyed Wolves. Let's cut the Groundskeeper. Let's just focus on the creatures we really want. I still think we're going to try out Geist of the Lonely Vigil, because I think this deck can actually get Delirium fairly reliably. Probably keep the Dawngryph. The Desperate Sentries have... I kind of want to keep all my Delirium cards. Just because I think they're gonna play well for us. I kind of want to keep the Reserves because it's a sorcery, but... And it has evasion. Like a captive into a reserve. Reserves is just played well, basically. So I can afford to cut 3 creatures. Which is actually pretty good. That also means I'm going to have to cut just a boatload of spells. We can cut a Strength of Arms now. It seems like we're just not going to need that many. We definitely want to cut at least, I think we probably cut 2 of our auras, because I think we're doing better things. Like, maybe I'm on the fence about playing Shard of Broken Glass. I kind of want Terrarian because it's our only artifact for Delirium, besides Shard of Broken Glass. But we didn't get any artifact creatures. And we do have quite a bit of things that want Delirium. We could actually cut the Geist of the Lonely Vigil. Like, I wanted to play it, but it's not like it's ridiculous Delirium reward. It does block well. It can trade, which is nice. And it wears, it wears an aura like late, which is cool. So we only have to cut 7 cards. We can cut a lot of creatures. Like I said, though, I kind of want to keep all of my Delirium spells, of which we actually ended up with quite a few. Do I need double Faithbearer Paladin? I mean, I don't mind it with all this ramp. But maybe I can just cut one. I want to keep the Mockery, though. I feel like with double Sentry, could be cooking with gasoline with this Mockery of Nature. Sometimes it just comes in and beats down. And I feel like we're going to encounter some, artifacts or enchantments, right? We're probably going to be happy, at least in one of our matches, that we have this. So on to the auras, perhaps. We can start cutting those. I like Mantle a lot. And I like Equestrian Skill, and I like Wolfkin Bond. I like all 3 of our auras, but we're not going to run all 3. So what's the weakest? I suppose Lunarch Mantle is probably the strongest because it's so cheap. It allows you to get Delirium, and it gives evasion. Maybe I'd cut the Wolfkin Bond. I think Equestrian Skill may actually just be better, even though you don't get the additional body. We've just got so many humans that it could pan out pretty awesome for us. And maybe I just don't need... Maybe I just play the Lunarch Mantle too. I wish I had more Ironclad Slayer value for that reason. I really don't have a ton. Man, I still gotta cut... What? 5 spells? That's a lot. Do I not need the Fork in the Road? But then I probably want to run 17 lands, I think. Although our curve's not, like, insane. I kind of want to run Fork and go for the Delirium aspect of it. I can cut creatures for days. I'm kind of feeling cutting the Shieldmate, but it's a combat trick. Maybe we cut the skill and just leave the Lunarch Mantle and accept that Ironclad Slayer is going to be a 3-mana 3/2 most of the time, and maybe Mantle comes back sometimes. So I still need to make 4 more cuts. This is getting tough. Our Delirium looks great though, right? Artifacts, artifact that mills, artifact that goes through a graveyard, instants, enchantments, sorceries that probably sack lands, land finding sorcery that also gets you land. Like, this deck will get Delirium definitely, but still maybe I cut the Geist. It feels as though I kind of want to run all of these spells, but 11 spells is probably too many. So maybe we just accept that Strength of Arms is a 1-mana +2/+2 and cut the Shard of Broken Glass. Or then again, maybe we cut the Terrarian and leave the Shard of Broken Glass. The problem with that is the only way to get Shard of Broken Glass in my graveyard, I guess we have a couple ways. We have Grapple, we have Purge, and we have Lunarch Mantle. That's not bad. I guess in a pinch Mockery can do it, but that's a long ways to blow up your own Shard of Broken Glass. I think any way you slice it, Shard is just more interesting for us than Terrarian. Like, I'd rather feed towards my Delirium plan and boost my creatures than not really kind of fix my mana in a deck that doesn't need it and draw a card. Some people really love the Terrarian, though. I'll say that. So I should probably have 8. So maybe we cut one of our Strength of Arms, too. I was just thinking I should probably have 8 non... Well, the thing is, you can count Fork in the Road as like a land. It's pretty much going to be a land. How we're using it, it's going to be a land in our deck. So, for that reason, I can probably keep it around as like, and not really count it as a spell. In which case, maybe I just cut creatures now. So I cut 3 creatures, and we still have 15 if I count the Spectral Reserves, which I will. So let's figure this out. I'm feeling as though... I feel as though now I probably cut Mockery, the Geist, and like a Shieldmate. I like the Shieldmate, but like I said, I kind of want to go for the Delirium plan here as best as I can. I like the Mockery, but it's probably just a better sideboard card. And even though we have good sack fodder for it in Desperate Sentry, we also have Double Purge, which is going to require some sacking, as well as Lunarch Mantle. And I really want these 2 Strength of Arms. I think they're going to come up big for us. 1 mana tricks, not to be laughed at. All right, so let's probably cut these 3. I think I'm just going to have to pull the trigger on this deck here, and let's take a look. How bad is our curve? Oh, it's actually very good. This looks like a completely reasonable 16 land deck to me. So 16 lands, 15 creatures, a bunch of spells, quite a few that interact. This deck's actually just fine. Considering I begrudgingly went white, this deck is just fine. So let's go... No. We're not going to do 12-4. That is just silly. Even 9-7 seems not that great because of Fork in the Road and our 3 captives. Can I just go 8-8? That way I hit captives, I hit Fork in the Road. So it's almost like we have 9 planes with the Fork in the Road. Fork in the Road's like an extra white mana for sure. Thankfully we're not color intensive at all, which does make me want to do an 8-8 split. Green really got cut hard in packs 2 and 3. Maybe someone just opened a pretty bomb rare in green. Could be. I guess that's a weakness of our deck. We don't really have any bombs. But that's alright. We've got a game plan. We're sticking to it. So, something like this. Yeah, this seems fine to me. Had a hard time cutting down to this, but this appears to have all the tools that one would need to win, right? Like ramp element to get us to our 4 and 5 drops quicker, or just allow us to play more things early. We have some evasion, right? Because we've got the Griff, we have the reserves. Sanctifier should feed us, especially if we're... I guess Sanctifier's kind of a non-bow a little bit with Delirium, but at the same time you can feed it with like Shard of Broken Glass and Grapple. As long as you have 1 creature, you're going to have Delirium, so... Definitely still think Sanctifier's insane for us. Alright, this deck's fine, I think. It's certainly not insane. Alright, we'll run it like this. Let's try her out. We'll see you round 1.